So we're back. I'm going to run through the turnouts real quick. A couple of times last week, somebody said, "Hey, I didn't hear from so-and-so. I didn't hear about this horse or that horse." And I may have missed a couple, and I apologize for that. I think we got them all this week, though. I think so. So see if we can't run through them. First off, we'll start with the horses that I think are coming back soon. They're going to be coming back in the next week, 10 days max. They might already be in the barn by the time, definitely be in the barn by the time. All these horses will be in the barn by the time I get back from Lexington. We'll start with Curious Winter. These are the horses that had okay summers, give them a little rest, and they're going to race throughout late fall into the winter. And then at the end of that, if we decide that they're potentially stake horses, then we'll shut them back down and give them a little more time. And if they're not, we'll probably move them along, race in the claiming ranks, the condition ranks, or put them up for private sale. But these are horses that got a lot to do if they want to stay at TheStable.ca. And that's only fair to our clients, to you, and to the horses. So we're going to run through this list really quick. Curious Winter obviously starts it off. Curious Winter is a horse that we had high regard for, a cousin of Lawmaker, and has not found his Lawmaker-ish ways. He was okay. Started off the year kicking the hell out of the cart. Not a big deal. But I think he's got some stuff to offer, this horse. You know, when I drove him in Ohio, I thought he raced well. I thought if I had driven him in a different manner, he would have been first or second. I can't remember what he finished that day, but I thought he raced okay. And then a couple other people drove him. He raced in Urbana and he made a break. It's a horse that was lightly raced. This is a horse that likely will come back and could easily be what we would consider a stake horse in 2019, but he will be coming back in the very near future to start back towards the races. Majesty Boy, very similar trajectory. This is a horse that I think will actually race without the hobbles on when we bring him back. I didn't think he needed them at the end of it, and we'll see what he comes back like. But he's got some work to do, ready for the beach, very, very same trajectory. Horses that have something to prove and need to work a little bit harder, and they will get their chance to show it off this fall. Master Saver, again, he's not a baby, but we gave him some time in the pool. His feet were bothering him. His one knee was bothering him. Nothing serious, but we will get him. There's a horse that I already know wants to do his work. Very, very nice horse. Lots of room left in his cap. Probably another $20,000, $30,000 Master Saver can make before we really have any tough questions to ask or answer, and I don't think he'll have any problem doing it. I really like Master Saver, always have. He's not a world champion, but he's a grinder, he's tough, and we've taken good care of him the last month, so I think he'll come back good. The Butler did it. A lot of questions to answer with the Butler did it. When we sent him to Paul Kelly, we thought he was going to race in the stake races. He got sick, and then he didn't race, and we brought him home. I went to jog him, and he was head down, hanging, just looked tired, so we turned him out. He'll be back here in another 2 weeks. He's got a lot of work to do this fall. Too Far Gone, another filly. It was kind of on the bubble. I bought a lot of shares back of this filly because I do like her, and I think she's going to have a decently bright future. How bright? That'll be up to her, but we're going to find out soon enough. She's going to be coming back in the next week or so. We'll see how she is. Canale Hanover has had just about the worst 2018 season you could ask for a horse that we considered one of the big three from last year, and he come back and he was completely abysmal. We gave him the last 6 weeks off. I would imagine he'll take the better part of this month, and then he'll be back in the barn October 1st. We'll have him ready for the first part of December probably, and hopefully he found a way to get his mojo back, because he definitely lost it from the start of this year, from last year. Happy Holidays, another horse, had a terrible, terrible 2018. We finally broke down and gave her some more time off. Pretty tough to give her the time off. The only reason I did was, here's a filly we could go a number of different ways with. This is a mare, that is well-bred. I wouldn't say, not well-bred. She's pretty good bred, but she's the second fastest trotting mare ever in Canada on a half-mile track. She has the track record at Flamborough for mares, 154 and 4. There'll be a wild break in that one. And she's got well over 100,000 made. I would assume this is a type of mare that most breeding farms would like, and maybe we'll keep her in breeder. I don't know. We may sell her as a brood mare. We may keep her and get her in foal. But Happy Holidays, there's a number of different trajectories for this mare. I would like to see her come back and start racing good. That would be step one. But we'll see what happens when Happy Holidays gets back to the races. And last and not least is a horse I've done a lot of talking about for well over a year, and that is Road Tripper. Road Tripper is a horse that's near and dear to my heart. I like him. He's had some good points. He's had some poor points to his 2018 season. And I really think this is a big colt that's just starting to grow into his body. He's going to be a tremendous 4-year-old. He'll be coming back in the next week or two. So that's the horses that'll be coming back very soon. We're going to run through some horses that won't be coming back very soon, and I'll tell you where they're turned out, how long they're going to be out for. Most of these good stake horses will be out probably till end of November. I would say the latter part of November, and then we'll bring them back in. Oso Pine and Twinsburg are in Kentucky. They're in Kentucky right now with Beth from Anvil and Lace. We turned both of those horses out down there. See You in Tuscany is turned out in, I believe he's at Tommy's, isn't he? He's at Tommy's farm in Roseneath. So is Screaming Hawk's over by, no, he's at Westover Hills, isn't he? Screaming Hawk, I know he is. He's turned over out at Westover Hills, so about 2 miles from our place. They built this ginormous turnout farm about a decade ago, and the people that first bought that farm had some horses with us for a while. And then the one guy who owned it, it was a sordid affair there. He blew through his money pretty good, not in horse racing, in other aspects of life, and ended up going belly up, I believe. And I didn't even know they still had turnouts there until somebody had mentioned it to me. We ended up turning some horses out there with the people that are managing it now. So over there, Screaming Hawk, Yes is at Tommy's place, I believe. Yes is at Tommy's place. Final Answer's at Tommy's place. Just a Tad, he would be back soon, but we gelded him. We cut the nuts out of Just a Tad, to be blunt, just because he didn't need them. And we're going to have him back probably. By the time I come back, you're probably going to see Just a Tad back in jogging and training. Didn't need to be a stud, was being a bit of a pain in the butt when we stopped with him. So, the people that took care of him when I didn't own any of them, when the other people had owned a big chunk of them, the grooms had asked to geld him, and we didn't. But we did now. So Just a Tad is now gelding, and he'll be back probably the first part of October. Linnea, she's not going to be back in right away, but she's coming back sooner than these horses and later than the other 12 that are on the other list. So Linnea and Sunshine Inn, very similar trajectories. They're not going to get a full turnout, probably 5 weeks. They'll be out, and then they'll be coming back to start jogging. We'll race them through the winter, and they have similar trajectories to these other horses. They're going to have to do some work and show off what they can do. I think they will, considering their biggest obstacle was allergies, and there's very few of those in the winter. So Linnea and Sunshine Inn will be coming back. Stonebridge Simba finished third. He should have been on the news. Should have been on the news portion. Stonebridge Simba was third in the consolation of the Pennsylvania Sires. Raced well. I thought he could have raced better, but he raced well. He's banked over 50,000 American dollars now this year, which is good for him. And he's got a much-needed turnout also. I believe, actually, he's down at Anvil and Lace also. Casanova's Jewel, a horse that I think very highly of. He'll be out for a little bit. He's going to get the full turnout like the other stake colts, and he'll be back probably the first part of November, though, because he went out a couple of weeks before them. Holden Steady. Where's Holden Steady? At Tommy's? Yeah. Holden Steady is out at Tommy's farm also. He's going to be coming back, 12:53. He's going to be coming back, maybe I'd say the same amount as Casanova. He'll be back a little bit earlier than these later ones, a little more, maybe 5 weeks, 5-week program for him. Springbridge Proud is not with us. He's down with Ron Burke. Ron Burke's turnout staff is in Ohio, I believe, at Winterwood, if I'm not certain. So I'm not positive, but I believe Springbridge Proud is in Ohio at Winterwood. Ron Burke's going to train him back down. He asked me, what do you want to do? Why don't you train him down? I mean, you own half of them with Mark Weaver, and Adriano Sorello owns the other 25%. Try and keep us up to date if you don't mind. So Springbridge Proud is with Ron Burke right now. And Pay the Line Blue Chip, she got a tiny injury to her in her last start, nothing serious, but we opted to stop with her and then swim her for a month, make sure she's healthy. She had a really tough year. There's affiliate made a lot of breaks, and we were pretty hard on her to get her squared away at the start of the year, and then she raced well throughout the year for us. Been a pretty solid filly right through from almost when Kevin first got her to now, so she deserves some time off, and that is exactly what we did for her. So those are the turnouts. I'm going to run through the other stables really, really quick. As soon as I come back, we'll get this all out of the way, because right behind me, Amy and I are going to be looking at all the horses that I marked down on my way over here. We're going to be looking at all the videos. We're going to whittle that list down, and I'm going to give you a list of them also for October 2nd, the sale on October 2nd. Curtis and I are going to meet up the day before Lexington. We're going to run through maybe the first 2 days, and then the morning of the second day, run through the last 2 days. As you can imagine, there's probably not a lot of horses we're looking on day one, as it's a bit of a rodeo on day one. Money's flying around, and it just seems like a lot of people are wasting a lot of money. So I don't know if we're going to find a horse on day one of Lexington. Not many people do, unless your last name is Burke or Tactor, Coleman. Those are the names you're probably going to see synonymous with day one at Lexington. We're more of a day 2.5 through 5 at Lexington. Make no mistake, Lawmaker was bought on the last day of Lexington 2 years ago. A number of nice horses we bought on the last days of the sale. So our job is to sniff out as much value as we can in these yearlings. I think we've done a tremendous job throughout the last 2 years. And again, the start of the sale this year with the Ohio Select sale and the other Ohio sale. So we're going to continue that on. Heading into Lexington, we're going to do the same videos as we did before. We're going to try and get all the wrinkles out of the Shopify and the PayPal thing with the online store, because I think it's a tremendous tool for new people, for people out there watching, and you also if you want to get involved. So we're going to get all the wrinkles out of that. Anyway, we're going to go through all the videos. I'm going to go through all the stables, get this uploaded as quick as I can, and start working on the sale video for everybody out there. We'll be back in a minute. I'm going to run through all the stables with you really quick. So I figured the easiest way to do this would be to run through a couple of smaller brands, those ones that are shutting down. You have Angie Coleman, Angel, Not an Angel, and Ivanka are pretty much done. Angel ended her 2018 campaign tonight. Ivanka will be tomorrow, and that will be that for Angie's Burn 2018. Andrew's Burn, got a few left down there, Cruising in Style. Got a bit of a crappy trip in the New York Sires final. And Simba's done now. He's turned out. Then Lawmaker and White Tiger are down there, but they're only down there for a prep race in the Breeders' Crown, and that's it for them in 2018 also. Now we have a lot of people asking, hey, what do you do with a horse like Lawmaker, Cruising in Style? Nothing. We're going to continue to race them. People don't understand, even in the last 5 years, how much this industry has changed. You can't buy good horses unless you're going to pay through the nose for them. So we're not going to buy any. We're going to build our own. And we're going to keep all our good horses, move our horses that we deem maybe not athletic enough or not what we need. We're going to move them out. We're going to continue to build something huge. And for me, going out there and buying horses, sure, we can buy horses as long as there's value there. Then we'll purchase horses. But it's very difficult just to sell a horse and think that you're going to turn some sneaky profit and go buy another one. It's just not going to happen. It's tough to do that. And you used to be able to do that 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. You could sell your 3-year-olds with modest amount of money made for maybe a little bit more than you even thought they were worth, but you can't replace those horses anymore. So it makes for a little bit difficult thing. So for the people out there saying, oh, why don't you sell Lawmaker for a huge profit? Well, one, you're not going to get a huge profit. You're going to get fair market value for a 3-year-old done racing his 3-year-old career. You're going to get fair market value for him, maybe a little bit more, but then what do we do? So we're going to sell an open trotter to get what? Maybe an open trotter? How you doing there? Just probably the volume button, honey, is the best way to go. My God. For somebody technically savvy, sometimes she's not very technically savvy. Anyway, so that's a scoop. We will be selling horses, but we have horses we're keeping. Why would you ever want to sell a horse like Cruising in Style or Lawmaker right now at their career? These are good horses. If we have to, if it makes sense, if it's a feasible necessity, then yeah, we'll sell them. But we don't have to. We're trying to build something really cool here, and we can't just continue to chop off the top and think that other horses are coming. It has to be some give and take there. Yes, if we don't have a class for Lawmaker to race in, but we do. We can keep him in Toronto. We can send him down to Andrew and race him at Yonkers. We can race him anywhere we want. Horses like Lawmaker and Cruising in Style are versatile, and are good horses. So, yeah, we can take the money and run, so to speak, but we got to be careful where we tread because much like a sports team, you can't get rid of your franchise players until you have another franchise player. You can't just continue to get rid of the expensive salaries and think that you're going to continue to fill those shoes with cheaper salaries with horses that might be good. So there has to be that balance between proven good, might be good, hopefully good, and then continue to polish the stable up. It's my job. I'm the general manager of a sports team, so to speak, and for me, Lawmaker and Cruising in Style are our flagship horses right now, heading into the 2019 season as they race into the aged market. If we're offered the proper amount of money, then we'll take it to the clients. But as of right now, there's been no necessity, need, or want to sell either of those two horses specifically. So with that, we'll get into, we talked about Angie's barn real quick. Jason's barn is pretty much done for 2018 also. Andrew's barn. Jason's barn right now has been weeded right out since he left Ohio. He's coming back to us, and all he has is Gelona. Nice mare, Gelona. Redwood again. I know he's still with us. He's not going to be long, I don't think, though. He's got a lot of work to do, this horse, to even think that he's going to keep we're not going to make any stable jackets up for him in the winter. He's got to do a lot. I would say there's probably 7 or 8 horses here that we're looking at maybe selling in the next month and a half or so. And Redwood, again, it's going to be tough to keep him off that list. Candy Mac, another horse, ended the year on a sour note. This horse has to do a lot for me to fall back in love with him. And he's probably in the same boat as the turnout horses like Curious Winner, Majesty Boy, Ready for the Beach. These types of horses, he's got some work to do. So Jason's coming back a little light. We'll fill his barn back up with some race horses he had, horses he needs. And also Pine and Twinsburg will take the rest of the fall off. So that's Andrew, Angie, and Jason's barn. All three, their stake horses are pretty much done for the fall. And obviously Jason's one of our trainers. He's coming back to Ontario. He'll set up shop in one of the shed rows, and we'll fill those stalls up again. So that is Andrew's barn, Angie's barn, Jason's barn. We're going to come back with the 3 bigs. Kevin, Ricky, Harry. Be back in just a minute. Well, we're back, and I'm going to run through the last three, the big 3 stables of ours. Now, Harry's barn is going to shrink a little bit. Some horses are done now for the season. Warwe Ultra is a horse that, Jesus, just bad luck after bad luck. 2 weeks ago, she was clearly good enough to win and broke the hobbles at the start. Got roughed up a bit the night in Clinton that Brett drove her, and she came out of the 2-hole. She's had a decent year. I wouldn't say she broke anyone's heart, because you can still see she had talent. I don't really know why James got away 8th with her in the semis, but it's just a bad year. Bad year for Warwe Ultra. She put away a little bit of money, but I would say a fraction of what she could or should have. Just sickness and broken equipment, bad trips. Jesus. Just no luck with the filly this year, but the good news is she's only 2. She's got her whole 3-year-old season ahead of her. Hopefully she grows into the filly we need her to be, and I know she can be. So Warwe Ultra done for 2018. That would be the first one at a Harry's barn. Sunshine's Finest. Only got 3 starts left. Gold 1, Gold 4, Gold 5 in the super final, and that'll be it for him. Lightly raced at 2. We'll bring him back. Big, great hopes for this horse at 3. Showing some tremendous talent, and we expect him to bounce back strong as a 3-year-old. Lima's Son. Big Lima. You forgot about him, didn't you? He's back jogging now. Lima's Son will be ready to go mid-December, I would suspect. Leg looks good. We're going to keep a real close eye on it. Make sure we do what's right for this horse. He's turned into a bit of a wallflower, but the bugger, he was a good horse, and he deserved my respect, and he had it, and he wants to be a horse. This horse, so we're going to afford him every opportunity to do so. He'll be back the first part of December. Captain Miraculous, another horse that's going to make it onto the list of horses that may need to leave. By may, I mean he will. He just didn't turn out. I can make an argument for a lot of these horses, but this horse got tremendous breeding, and I really thought he'd be a good horse, and he just hasn't shown it. We took care of the curb that was bothering him. It's still bothering him. His feet bother him a little bit, but lots of horses' feet bother them. Lots of horses had curbs. Sunshine's Finest had a curb. His feet kill him. He pays 52 the other day. So Captain Miraculous is probably a horse we're going to move along with, I would think, over the next couple of weeks. I thought we would have raced him by now, and Harry said that curb's still bothering him. We'll get that under control, get him raced, and and move him along. We have 7 or 8 here. We might just have a dispersal sale on Gate or something in the fall. That might be something worth looking at, but obviously nothing concrete there as of yet. Bay Jewel's back. Harry trained her the other day, said she was a little flat. She had a bit of an odd summer. Gaps in her racing, breaks that she made. I don't want to bother her. I don't want to hurt her or tire her out, but I'd like to see her. I'd like to put her away on a good note. So Bay Jewel, I would suspect Harry's going to have her schooled either Tuesday or Friday, and then we'll go from there with her. If she looks like she's tired, then we'll turn her out. But I would suspect she's probably sitting on a good mile. Once we get her tight and get her qualified, we'll race her once or twice. That would still keep her starts way under 10 for this year, and then she'll be done for the year. Fan the Flames. He looks great. He's back. He's training, jogging now. I think he's going to start training this week. He looks great, that horse. Put on the weight that I expected him to. Probably put on 400 pounds. Probably, I would say 150 pounds, but looks really, really, really good. Could put on a few more too, but looks tremendous, this horse. Really, really filled out the way I hoped he would. And we'll see if I was right or wrong about this horse this fall. I stayed in on him. I bought shares back of him. And I really, really like Fan the Flames, and I think he'll have a decent fall. Maintenance Man, he's got 1 start left, I think, which would be the Grassroots Finals. Looked a little flat in the semifinal race, but let's be honest, he had the 9-hole. He went out of there with him just like he should have. Got a good trip. He was a little flat in the end of it. I think Harry will have him ready to go for the final next week. And Lincoln James raced tremendous. I watched him, I guess, live, sitting in a cafe in New Zealand, in Queenstown, and he raced good. They went 48 apiece. Little tough for the little fella, but I'm sure he'll bounce back next week with a great effort. So that's Harry's barn. We'll be back in a minute with Ricky's barn, Kevin's barn, and we'll call it a night as I finish up looking at the videos with Amy for Lexington. We're back. We're going to run through Ricky's barn. Ricky's got quite a few horses he's sitting on right here. A couple of them only got a start or 2 left in West 52nd. Vic has probably got 3 or 4 starts left. We're going to run through Ricky's barn right now. Friggin' Biggins turned out. I forgot to talk about him on the turnout list. We're in the midst of trying to get him moved. The final stages of getting the rest of the shares bought up. The gentleman that owns the vast majority of him wanted to move him somewhere else, I suppose, and that's fine. Or maybe just want to turn him out on his own. I have no idea. So that's friggin' Biggin. West 52nd's close to being turned out. Boston Glide is turned out and coming back in a week. So run through the rest of them. Delcrest Star Angel, I trained her in 2-7 last half and 1-1 before I left. She looked like a racehorse. Just going to polish up the final little nuts and bolts of her, and she should be ready to qualify, I would suspect, when I come back from Lexington. Meadowbrook Charlie raced terrible the other day, made a break. He raced okay at Flamborough, tried him 57-4 at Flamborough, made a break coming out of the gate at Mohawk the other night. Tricky horse to drive anyway, and he's a little frustrating, so I wasn't surprised. Real Willie sitting on a decent race, I think. Did some work on him. He's going to be in this week, a horse that I had mentioned quietly to you in the outset. Yeah, a little bit of a caveat here. I'm a horrible gambler. I'm not good at it. That's why I stopped doing it a long time ago. And I'm not a very good handicapper. So keep that in mind, but I do think that Real Willie is sitting on a good mile. Again, I mentioned Arvika. She's going to be schooling this Tuesday and Indigo the end of the week, I would suspect. Boston Glad will be coming back in another week. Dance Hall Babe racing in the gold on Tuesday. I talked about her in the opening, how I get very, very high hopes for this filly, and I suspect Mary will have a good trip with her at Flamborough. She raced great at Grand River 2 starts ago, a great half-mile prep. She's probably sitting on a real good mile also, so Dance Hall Babe is going to be Indigo on Tuesday. King of the Ball, I trained this horse in 158 before I left. I don't know if I told you that or not. I told the clients that owned him. I'll tell you that. I trained him in 58, last half in 58, and I thought he was awesome. What we had to do with this colt for a little while was TQ him. He was just too hot. He was crazy. We TQ'd him for about 2 weeks straight, and he's really come around. He's starting to wisen up a little bit. When I trained him the other day, I thought he was fantastic. He was easy to work with and manageable. A little grabby, a little sharp, but I'll take it considering what he was going through for the longest time. He was off a little bit, I thought, in his left knee, his right knee and his left hind. Took him up to the vet, and they figured it all out. Nothing serious. He should be ready to go. RV LeBron, I trained him in 2-2 and a piece, 2-3 before I left. Now, he is still striking that knee, but not bad. So I would hope when I come home he'll be qualified, or we will have him in to qualify. What else? Timel Houdini Indigo tomorrow night in the gold. Looked awesome 2 weeks ago when I won with him. Looked horrible his next start with James driving him. Obviously, they went faster the day James drove him. Ricky snuck him up to the veterinarian the next day. He had him scoped after the race. A little bit of allergy mucus, which is understandable. But needed some vet work done, and we got it done. Zeppelin B is going to be sold. He's on the sale board. I don't think we'll be racing him before we sell him, unless we don't get any offers. I've only had a couple offers from tire kickers that wanted to give us less than what we wanted. I'm not giving the horse away. If I have to rest him a bit, I will. But at the end of the day, I think selling him, again, he'd probably fit that list of 7 or 8 that can leave. And if we have to open up an online auction on gate for a bunch of them, then that's what we'll do. But at the end of the day, we can't keep them all around. And I like Zeppelin B. It broke my heart the last time I raced him, but there wasn't really anything wrong with him. He just couldn't keep up. He couldn't trot in 56.5-mile track, and they'll come back to him. They'll slow down, but I don't know if we can wait for them to slow down. So Zeppelin B is on the sale board. Stonebridge Loyal's back. She looks great. By all accounts, sound and comfortable. Looks like $1 million. She got lots of time off. Exactly what she needed. She should be jogging back and start training in the next 2 weeks. Stolen Dance also looks great. Worked really, really well before I left. Barely even touching those knees at all anymore, and trained really, really good. Exactly what I want to see. Torches Pirate, new addition to the stable. First start, he was second for Danny O'Brien. He raced terrible. I watched him tonight live. I'd sent Ricky a message when I got back to the hotel. Hey, did you get that horse looked at? And he hasn't got back to me yet, but I would assume Torches Pirate was a little bit sick. In tough, too. Kind of a weird spot to be in. He's got a lot of money made. We may actually race him in a maiden at Mohawk. It's like next start. Looked a little more manageable tonight, but that may have been because he was sick. So going to have to take a real close eye on Torches Pirate over the next week. Talked about Charlie. We talked about West 52nd. Talked about Dalcrest. That's it for Ricky's stable. 5 minutes and 7 seconds. Told you I was going to run through them all. I mean, nothing of consequence to talk about. You guys have seen all these horses race. If there was any major issues, obviously, I would bringing it to you. But this is the end of the season. Stake horses go out. Race horses are starting to race now. Some horses are coming back. Some horses will be new to us. I think probably in the next week or so, we'll run through all the babies we have. I could do that, but what am I going to tell you? They're broken, they're jogging good. I think we're going to give you a little video update on our yearlings, maybe right after Lexington. We have about 30 in the barn right now, about halfway to what we're likely going to end up with. We'll be back in just a minute. I'm going to run through Kevin's barn and finish up the videos, and I would say you guys will get this video on Monday, and I will probably send you out the Lexington stuff on Tuesday. So, we'll be back in just a minute. Talk about Kevin's barn. Got a lot of horses here. A lot of horses that are racing good. Some are just coming back. Some are about to leave. Lots to talk about. We'll be back in just a minute. Last and not least is Kevin's barn. Kevin's had a pretty good year. We started him off with a lot of horses that were okay. A lot of horses that were decent. And he had a pretty good year with most of them. Book the Bet's been good. She's got almost 40,000 made kind of quietly this year. I wouldn't say you could buy a house with it, but she's raced pretty good for our clients and had some wins and had some good outings. See, she's in to go this week. Jill Barrios driving her in a driver's championship at Grand River. Outside, speed inside of her. Jill's not a real aggressive driver. I don't know how he's going to get along with Book the Bet, but we'll see. On Wednesday night, she's in to go, and she's been good. Art Seeker's been the opposite of good. He's been terrible. Probably going to find his way onto that list we were talking about earlier. I think, I've protected Art and protect him. We could turn him out to bring him back and have him turn into a 57 and a piece pacer. I mean, we could sell him. I think it might be the best way to go. We'll have some discussion about this moving forward with the people that own them. I own half of them, so I know what my 53% says, and I just don't think there's a lot of point in turning Art Seeker out to bring him back and be an okay horse. But, we got some time, and we'll think about it. Again, Gilles Barrio drew him on Wednesday also. Not really sure how he'll get along with this horse, but I wish to God somebody put him close to the front end because I'm getting really sick of watching him getting away at the back. That's Art Seeker dancing on my own. this filly couldn't look any better than she looks right now. I saw her before I left, and man, oh man, did she ever look good. Shiny, put all the weight on we wanted to put on. She looks good. So I haven't talked to Kevin about her, but I'll talk to him when I get back. By all accounts, she was jogging fine. She hasn't started training yet. She'll start training probably the first part of October. So when I arrive back from Lexington, that's likely when Kevin will begin training her down. So I'll be talking to him about how she's progressing. But no news is good news at this point. She's just jogging, and by all accounts is jogging as well as she looked when I saw her. American League is back. There's a horse. See, there's a horse that wasn't a very good horse for us, but I decided that maybe he's got some cap room where he could make a little more money, and he seemed like he was trying for a little bit. His first start, he come first over and won. Second start, third start, he had a lot of first over trips, this horse. Little hikey, his hocks were bothering him, his feet were bothering him, he got underweight. He didn't race good, but it's not his fault. So we give him some time off and let him fill out. He's back jogging now, probably training. He'll be ready to go, I would suspect, within the next 4 weeks. So American League is also back and underway. A horse that surprised me when I saw him on the track was Cash In On Me. Kevin's got him down in his barn. I saw him on the track. I knew who it was when he trotted up beside me, but he is massive now. He looks big. So Cash In On Me put all the weight on and filled out. Not surprising he had issues training down this spring earlier on. He's about a third bigger now and stronger. So Cash In On Me hopefully is the size we need him to be to start training down and training good, and he definitely looks the part right now. Another horse I thought looked tremendous and most importantly sound, Be My Delight. You knew that she had injured herself right around the same time Lawmaker did. Injured herself where she got cast, but now looks great. I saw her on the track the other day. Again, as soon as I saw her, I knew who it was, but she was sound. I was so happy to see her on the track and looking good. She looks great. Probably another 3-4 weeks of jogging, and Kevin's going to start moving her along. Also, Cruising with Angus is back in. I'd like to tell you, I saw him on the track. I did not, but I know they were getting him shod, getting new shoes on him the day that Amy and I were leaving for this trip in New Zealand. So I expect Cruising with Angus to be fine. There's a horse that did horrible luck. First qualifier looked tremendous. Then he gets sick. Then he colicked a little bit. Then he gets sick again. And we finally just turned him out and said, enough's enough. Bad luck's bad luck, but he's lost a lot of the season. Let's just turn him out. I think we made the right decision. He looked great when he came back in. So I haven't had a chance to talk to Kevin about him either, but I suspect he's doing just fine. Mo Better, Hard 8, Buckingham, all three of these horses had issues in the semifinals. All three of them made it into the finals, so congratulations on Kevin doing a great job getting them into the finals. I talked about Mo Better at the opening, how we're going to trade him for his brother. We had an offer from the breeder to say, we'd like Mo Better back to race him as a 3-year-old. We like what he's turned into. We have this yearling by, there's a pretty horse. We had his yearling brother by Sunshine Beach, and I know that you were high on the Sunshine Beaches. Would you consider trading? I spoke to everybody that owned the horse, including Doug Gilmore and Rick Five, and said we have an option to trade this colt out. Are you interested? I still own a big chunk of them too. And they were. Everybody was, I think, for the most part. So we're going to make that trade right after the finals of Mo Better for Mo Sunshine. You're going to see him show up. Hard 8 didn't really do exactly what we bought her to do. Obviously, he's a $35,000 yearling, but nevertheless is a 2-year-old filly, a giant of a filly. Took a lifetime mark of 156, put away $20,000 almost. She did okay, and I think she's going to be a good filly for it. She clearly showed that she wants to race and be a good horse. I don't know what she'll do in the final next week. Kevin had her up to the vet, found a few little things. He'll have her ready to go, firing on all cylinders next Saturday night, and I hope and expect that she'll do fine. So, Hard 8, one last start left, one more kick at the cat in 2018, but nevertheless, a good-looking filly with a fairly decently bright future. Buckingham on the same page. She looked a little off to me. The vet said her left front foot was bothering her. They patched her up. She should be ready to go this week. Had a tremendous outing 2 weeks ago, and then the other night looked so-so, but you could tell there was something bothering her, and the vet found it, and I suspect she'll have a good race next Saturday. Dewey Ann, just putting miles in. I'm going to take her up with the yearlings, I think, when I come back. She's maybe in the same trajectory as Happy Holidays, where we might breed her. We'll see. I know she put a lot of weight on, which means her stress level come down and she's a lot sounder. So Dewey Ann looked good. I know they're just jogging her right now, and we will see how she looks when I get back. Dancing at Midland, he kicked or did something and bruised his left hind sesamoid, and that has been a problem in the past for him. There might be a little arthritis in there anyway, so what we opted to do, rather than stand him in the stall, we sent him up to the pool to swim so he doesn't lose any time for our clients. We want to make sure when he's sound and he's ready to go that he is tight and ready to go. So that's Dancing at Midland. Better Call Mike. Better Call Mike. Kevin told me he likes this colt. Trained him 2 or 3 times, and before he left, he said, "Hey, that fellow with the white face," he said, "geez, he's all right, eh?" And I said, "Yeah, he's got a nice gait. His feet bothered him. We put flip-flops on him, and then his knees were bothering him, so we turned him out, and we just brought him back in. Harry jogged him for a while and liked him, but Harry had a lot of horses. When Lawmaker and White Tiger come in, we sent Better Call Mike down to Kevin's barn. Kevin said he likes him, so we'll see. Better Call Mike is on his way to the races. Another horse that went down to Kevin's barn that Kevin really likes also, Boldness. He said he really, really likes the way he travels. He's not interfering like he was training. Now, this is why we turned the horses out. We didn't turn them out to hope that they just turned into another horse. We turned them out to allow them to grow up, fill out, become the horses they're bred to be, the horses we bought them to be, and hopefully they do. By all accounts, both Better Call Mike, both Boldness, Cash In On Me, horses that we kept, rather than just dumping them and getting rid of them, horses we kept to turn out to be good, better horses, are on their way to being those horses. Boldness looks good and Kevin likes him. Another horse Kevin really likes that I'm really, really happy about, Quartz Blue Chip. This affiliate was just simply too big. She's too big at 2, too big as a baby. We trained her down to 2-2, 2-3, and stopped with her. Turned her out in the field, brought her back. Kevin says, wow, the big filly there, the Sweet Lou filly, I really like her a lot. She's been training good. I suspect she's going to need a few more weeks of light training before he starts stretching her out. But by all accounts, she looks really good too. Time Altulo, absolutely buried on Monday at Grand River. I was just telling you in the opening there, you look at the fields. Time Houdini's got a fairly soft bunch. Time Altulo, all the Bearcats in the division are in with him. There's a horse that was sick, a little sick, a couple weeks longer than Time Houdini. You know, we schooled him, we trained him, we qualified him. And then he drew this bunch. Geez, that's deflating. You know, who knows? Hope that maybe there's some mayhem in the first turn or a couple of make breaks, or it's just going to be tough sledding for Time Altulo on Monday. You know, he's put away some good money for us and has had a good year for us. So Time Altulo has nothing to prove in the last 2 stakes and hopefully the super final. I would like to see him get there. He's sitting about 11th or 12th right now, so we're going to need some points somewhere. It's going to be tough to find them Monday. Hopefully he finds them the week after. But you never know. It's racing. Anything can happen in a horse race. That's why we race these horses, because you just don't know. And Sally DeVee. Sally DeVee is another horse bouncing around that bubble of sale or not. Looks good. Looked a little sore to me the other day, actually, but Kevin figured he knows what's bothering her and he thinks he can patch her up, no problem. So Sally DeVee is back in to go Wednesday. Jamie Gray, I think, from out west is driving her in the Drivers' Championship. I think that's a World Driving Championship. So Jamie Gray's driving her. That's a tough bunch at Grand River. I can't wait till London opens up for a couple of these horses. And then last and not least is If You Knew Susie. First start, Daryl Newbigging bought her. First start for Kevin was last week. I drove her. Obviously a little short, finished 5th. Paced 156 and a bit, 157. I thought she raced well. She just needs a softer bunch than that, and I think she'll find it soon enough. I don't know what the class looks like tomorrow night, Sunday night. But if it's the same one she was in the other day, she's going to need to be a tiny bit tighter, I think. So we'll see how Kevin has her tomorrow night. So that is If I Knew Susie. So those are all the stables. That's all of them. That's everything. It's a little bit of news for you. Keep you guys informed about what's going on with the site and the Shopify thing with the app. What's going on with all the horses, the Breeders' Crowns, hotel rooms that we're booking. If you want to come to the Breeders' Crown, book a hotel. That room's going to be packed on the 19th and 20th of, is it October? Yeah, it's October. 19th and 20th of October. We're going to have Lawmaker, White Tiger, possibly, likely cruising in style. Who knows? Might be a couple more sneak in there also. But we got those 3 for sure that will likely be going. I shouldn't say 3 for sure. I think 2 for sure, likely 3 going to the Breeders' Crown eliminations. So by all means, book your rooms. Come on to the Poconos with us. You will love it. Beautiful track, beautiful facility, great place to watch races, great town. Just a nice little vacation for you and your family if you want to. So book your room to Wilkes-Barre in the Poconos, and we will have some fun down there. That will pretty much do it for 2018 in all racing aspects other than overnights. We'll shut her down after that and focus on the babies moving forward. Speaking of babies moving forward, Amy's looking through the videos now. I'm going to join her in a minute. We're going to run through and look at all. I have a lot picked out that I liked in the 15-hour flight. 15-hour flight from Ontario to New Zealand. Well, actually, it was from Houston to New Zealand. I picked out, went through the whole catalog. So we're going to cross-reference those with the videos, have a look at the videos again. Going to make a video for you about all the horses we like, and then when Curtis and I go, and Amy and I go to Lexington, we fly back in and take a day off, go down the day before, look at all the horses we want to look at. Probably the first 2 days of Lexington we'll video, show you the videos, which ones we want. I notice a lot of you guys have sent me emails with numbers and texted me with numbers. We're looking at them all. We're going to take a look at them all and see what we're going to do with Lexington. The other thing is for Lexington, if you want to buy horses with us, if you want in, let me know what horses you're looking at. When we're done with the videos, let me know which ones you like. I'm in a bit of a tough spot where I don't know exactly what we're going to be able to do at Lexington until I hear from everybody. Till I hear from you, I don't know what we're going to be able to accomplish at Lexington. It was a lot the same last year, and put yourself in my shoes. A bit of a scary turnaround to go to Lexington and know that you have a lot of clients that want in on horses, but nobody's spoken up for them just yet. So I want to make sure that we have a rough estimate of what we're doing. I know a lot of people had filled out the questionnaire we sent last month. We're looking at all the information and reaching out to people. Never hurts to reach out again and speak to you. And certainly never hurts to reach out and speak to me. So that's it. That's all the stables. That's the news. That's the turnouts. That's everything. We're going to be finishing up this video. Load them all up. Get them out to Curtis. Write a little email to you with them attached. And then the day after, you're going to be getting our preliminary picks for Lexington 2018. Thank you very much, everybody. It has been an unbelievable trip so far. Got to race in Invercargill. Got to meet some of the horsemen there. Let's go some of them a little closer than others. But I had a lot of fun in Invercargill. The people in New Zealand have been tremendous, and the sights have been unbelievable. If New Zealand is on your bucket list, make sure you put Queenstown on that list. This is some kind of town, and I really, really like it here. So, that's it. That's it for me from New Zealand. Amy from New Zealand. She's looking at all the videos of me right now. We'll have your video for Lexington out right after we get done with this one.